So February 15th, 1959 was my dad's birthday. It was the day that I drove to work with him. It's my first day at work. And 60-some years later.
Brent Polacheck, fourth generation president of Polacheck's Jewelers. I came into the business 25 years ago, and I haven't looked back. Ben Tip taught my dad his values.
About 1918, when my grandfather, Ben Tip, moved from Calgary, Canada to Seattle, Washington. And he only knew one thing, and that was to work and provide for his family. So he was not an easy man to work for. I had a great relationship with my grandfather. I was the oldest grandson of the entire family, and we bonded pretty well. He was like my mentor. My dad was a wonderful man, sweet, wonderful gentleman, but my grandfather is who I really learned from.
My first senior year at University of Arizona, I called home and I said I wanted to come in the family business.
I said, Brent, who loves you more than your dad and your mom? He said, nobody. I said, you got to do 3 things, and then my doors are wide open. What are they? I said, you need to
Graduate college, which was a little bit of a challenge for me.
from there go to GIA, either Carlsbad or New York, or take your choice, and you got to get a degree in gemology and be a gemologist.
Also a challenge for me. And then you had to work for somebody else. That was natural. That came natural for me.
So you'll work for somebody that isn't your dad. He did all 3, called me, I want to come home. Come on home. I was happy to have him, and came back, went into Sherman Oaks. He was very good with watches right from the beginning, because when he went to work for Torno in New York, they put him into the Breitling watch area and eventually became very familiar with complications.
That's when this all started for me. I fell in love with watches. My dad had a little store in Sherman Oaks, about 900 square feet. We had Rolex, we had Breitling, we had Cartier. And I walked in, and the first day on the job, my dad sat me down. He says, I want to teach you 3 things about this business. I need you to stick by it, live by it, and you'll succeed. The first was always pay your bills on time. In this industry, a lot of what we do is on a handshake. At Polacheck's, we have prided ourselves for always paying an invoice early. We have never gone overboard. And with that, everybody has given us whatever we want in the jewelry industry. The second one, which is very important, and I'm teaching this to everybody here, is you have to let all of the sales reps, whether it's jewelry or watches, you have to give them the time of day. When they come in and they ask for 5 minutes out of your day, sit with them. They're trying to make a living. My dad's telling me the story. He says, you never know who's going to run one of the big companies one day, but they'll remember that you spent a few minutes with them. You don't have to buy, just spend some time with them. And the third one I don't want to tell on camera, but I've lived by that also, and that was the first day on the job. 2 years into working at Sherman Oaks, a young real estate 40-year-old professional comes into our store and says to my dad, we're building a shopping center in Calabasas. We would love for you to come. To be completely honest, we had no idea where Calabasas was. We lived on the east part of town, and Calabasas was as far west as really our cars would go. And we believed in this young real estate developer, Rick Caruso, and we ended up opening a store a year and a half later. My dad and I, for the first year, both spent every second of the day on this sales floor shaking hands, and I did that for the next 8 years, just meeting every single person, because that's what our industry is about, like having a relationship. And my dad retired about 10 years ago,
I thought, you know what? I'm 70 years old. I've gone past the 65. I'm 70. I still feel good. But maybe it's time that I find a place in the desert. A lot of my friends were moving down there basically on a Christmas Eve, turn the rings over. I cried then, and I'm crying now. He's done a great job. He's done a great job, and I love him so much. You know, there's very, very few father and son or family businesses that can make it through one generation, through two generations, through three generations, four, and now we have my granddaughter Jordan, who's going to be a rock star. She's a GIA. She's doing exactly what I wanted my son to do. Honesty and integrity have been the backbone of Polacheck's Jewelers. Honesty, integrity, personnel, and the best product you can buy.